Hey guys, this is Lori with Ellen's Crafty Creations, and I'm here to share my April Craftology box project with you. This is a kit from countrycraftcreations.com that I do on a monthly basis, and she includes all kinds of goodies in these kits. This is the Simple Stories Bliss collection, and I did kind of like a skinny mini. That was going to be the idea originally, but it ended up being a very chunky skinny mini. So, but I hope you like it. So what I've done on the front cover is I put a sticker up here because once I got all of this done, this little area looked blank, so I stuck my heart sticker there. I have a chipboard element there, and here a cut apart from the collection, and then I made these three flowers with a Stampin' Up! Punch that I have, and just put the brads in the center with little bling in there. There's the spine, same paper on the spine and the back, and then a sticker border strip here. I used the ribbon that came in the kit, as well as these little butterfly buttons that are super cute. So I put those on the ends here. So let's open this up. So stay tuned after I go through the review, and I will do a tutorial immediately following. So here on the cover I have a corner pocket, a chipboard element, and then a sticker border strip there. And then I did tons of photo mats in this, and I did them all sizes. So this is a standard 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 cut apart, and then the butterfly paper, which I coordinated with this side. And then I added some stickers to this area. I mounted all my stickers on cardstock like I always do. It would be a great space for journaling. I have a sticker from the collection here, and then just a photo mat, and down here I used the branding strip from the collection to kind of accent it a little bit. In the pockets of the pages I did 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mats instead of doing the full size of the page, and I thought that they were cute, so I just wanted to fit just a 4 by 6 photo on there. So turn the page, and I just put that in the wrong area. I knew I would. And on this side you have I cut apart in the pocket. This one almost went on the front cover. I liked it so much. A chipboard element, and then again 2 of the smaller cut aparts and the stacked pockets here. I have a photo mat here, another cut apart with some stickers. This is magnetized and it opens up for 2 more photos. I have a sticker here with a swing tab. This flips down and up. You could put a photo up top, and then these 2 smaller flaps flip, and you can put smaller photos, and then a photo will tuck behind these flowers here. And again, I have another photo mat here. You could journal on this side and put your photo on the back. Here, this was going to be the center of my album, but then I decided to add a 5th page, so it's not the center anymore, but I still like the way it turned out. I have 2 stacked belly bands on each side, cut aparts in each pocket, really cute cut aparts with this collection, of course. You know, Simple Stories always does it big with the cut aparts. These are stickers. These are magnetized, whoops, and they flip open. Don't want to mess up my cut apart. And I have stickers here that I mounted, and you could stick your photos behind there. And then in each of the pockets I did these 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 photo mats, so they're square ones, and I did 2 in each pocket. And then here, these are the last photo mats I did. You could tell because I was using scraps of paper to finish it off. I used every stitch of paper that I had. And then there's another cut apart. On this side I have again 2 pockets, and these are the same size as the ones in the other pocket I just showed you. Go in there. And then I have a photo mat here, flip it over, and a pocket with some seam binding. Again, another one of those cute buttons. And then this was a sticker that I mounted on cardstock, and there's another cut apart. This collection's so pretty. I have a pocket here, 2 photo mats, This is magnetized and it swings open, and then it flips this way. Again, another flap that flips up and you can do a photo, another full-size photo here, and then I have two smaller photo mats here. And I think I need to maybe do them this way. They're getting kind of beat up the other way. And then I have this photo mat in the pocket. Turn it over. I did an L-shaped pocket. And I did some of these really cute 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 photo mats, so you can put 2 by 3 photos on there, and then another 3 by 4 there. I have a little umbrella sticker there and some flowers there. On here, I should have flipped this one the other way, but all I did is I glued it down on 2 sides and made it into a pocket and stuck some more of those smaller cute photo mats in here. And then this one's magnetized and it opens up like this. And then I have another photo mat here. And the last page just has a pocket with a flip here. These are 4 by 4. I don't know if you want to, this is kind of getting a little beaten up because it's right against the edge of my binding. So if you didn't add this, then it wouldn't do that. Or you could do a different binding system and it wouldn't hit the edge of it like it did. Here I did, this card came in the kit, so this is a sticker from the collection. This opens up, and I just decorated it, put some paper on the front. This is some ribbon that came in the kit, a chipboard sticker, and then I left it blank on the inside. I thought it was cute. I know I don't normally make cards. I'm not very good at it. And then, again, a corner pocket, sticker here, and then another photo mat. And I have these word stickers left that I didn't use that I've told y'all lots of times. I like to use these on my photos. So I stuck them in the pocket for when I add photos. I thought this was a perfect album to put my daughter's little Snapchat photos in because she loves Snapchat. So we take a lot of photos with Snapchat and they're just so cute. So this would be a good album for those types of photos. So actually I'm not going to close that because I might need to reference it. Let's get started with the tutorial. I feel like I'm talking 90 miles a minute today. Let's see. So I think I have everything already cut and ready for us. Where to put it is a different story. That's good. Okay. So, as usual, I have all the measurements for the pages that I'm doing. Let me just adjust my camera just a bit. It's going off to the side for some reason. All the measurements are down below in the description box, so you can check those out. You can print them however you like if you copy and paste them into a Word document. So let's get started. I've already done 4 of just my base pages. I'm going to do the 5th one with you. So for the base pages, you're going to need 5 pieces at 4 1/4 by 8, and then 5 pieces at 4 1/4 by 9. Score on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and fold. I'm going to take my art glitter glue, and you're just going to add glue to the top and the bottom and stick it down. Okay. Super easy. There's our base page. Okay, so I've already created the other 4, so you'll want to do that. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to get my little makeshift trash can, but I don't have anywhere to put it, so I'm just going to stick it over here and hope it doesn't fall. Alright, now your first flap is going to be cut at 3 3/4 by 8. You're going to score on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to miter the corners. and fold. I'm going to put my glue right here. And stick it in. Okay, and there's your first page. Okay, so that's it for the first page. It's super simple. And so now you're going to turn this over. So for the front of the first page, you're going to take, let's do the pocket first. So, yes, pocket first. Cut one piece at 4 by 9, score on the 4-inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 9-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then miter your corners. And then fold on everything. Add your glue. Better than I am. Let's see, and we're just going to stick it down here. So your pocket's on this side. Okay, then let's go ahead and add the stacked pockets. So you're going to cut 2 at 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. You're going to score on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 4 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Miter the corners for both. And fold on all of your score lines. Just make sure it fits. It does, score. So on the second one, you're just going to fold on the 2 score lines on the sides and leave the bottom one like that. Add your glue to the first one on all 3 sides. My daughter and my husband are playing in the background, so hopefully you can't hear all of the giggles. And then for the second one, you have your flaps folded in, add your glue. And you're going to stick that last one right in the pocket up to the score line and glue it down. Okay. And there you go. You have a side pocket and 2 stacked pockets. Now we're going to take this piece. This is 6 1/4 by 9 1/8, and you're going to score on the 9 1/8 of an inch side at 1/2 inch, and then at 5/8 of an inch, and then at 4 7/8. So fold on those. And then here, let's see, I'm going to fold this way. And then I'm going to fold again on that 1/8 of an inch, that teeny tiny score. Okay, so I have a little gusseted page like that. So you should have your flap on one side and then your hinge on the other. So put the glue on the inside and then just center it on this page and stick it into the pocket, but don't go over that 1/8 of an inch. So if you see there, oops, well, it helps if I'd stuck it down first before I tried to show you. So you see I still have my 1/8 of an inch gusset, so when I fold it, it's going to look like that. And then that opens that way. So that's it for page 1. So page 2, On the front of page 2, you're going to cut one at 6 3/4 by 4 1/4 and score on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then fold. And let's go ahead, add your glue, and add it right up to the top of the page. And then you're going to take one at 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, score on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, fold on that score line, and add your glue, and this goes at the bottom of the page. Now on this one I added a swing tab. You can do a magnet or a ribbon closure, just whatever you like. And then flip these open, and then I did 2 at 3 3/4 by 4 1/4 and score on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to fold both of these and add your glue on the inside. And then I stuck it almost to the very top of the page on the inside of the binding pocket. I'm going to do the same on the opposite side for the other one. Almost to the bottom of the page, and they will overlap. So then you have 2 flaps there. So the next one is going to be, oops, I just stuck that. Did I stick that wrong? Sure did. Sure did. It didn't go into the pocket like I thought. Oops. Don't try this at home. Or do, but do it correctly. So, should have went inside there, but you've already seen it, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oops. So now, what are we doing? We're doing the page 2, the back of page 2, and the front of page 3. Remember, they're identical. So they're mirror images of each other. So you're going to cut 2 flaps at 4 1/2 by 8 inches and score on the 4 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then fold on those score lines. Okay, so for the first one, I'm going to add my glue on the inside, and this time I'm actually going to stick it on the inside of the binding pocket. Like this. This paper that I'm using is pretty thin, so it's hard to tell. So there's my first flap. It'll be slightly shorter than the base page. And you're going to do the same on the opposite side with the next one. Stick it on the inside of the pocket. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and open these up and do these pockets, these larger pockets first. So you're going to cut 2 pockets at 2 3/4 by 9, score on the 2 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 9 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then miter your corners just like that. I don't show that very often because I just always assume that you know what that means. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually only going to show y'all one, so that way I can save time in the video. So take 1 pocket, add your glue, and then stick it on the flap with the flap open. Make sure you stay about, a good rule of thumb is 1/8 of an inch away from the score line when you're placing this. So see how you can tell that there's a gap there, or can you? Can you see that? There's a gap there, trust me. So when your page closes, it closes better, which mine's not doing it at this time. So you're going to add your same pocket on this side. So since I've already showed you that, I'm not going to do it again, even though I cut it. Let's do the belly bands. So we're going to do, I'm only going to do it on one side, so we don't need the other set. So you're going to want to cut 2 at 5 by 2 inches, score on the 2-inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And then cut 2 at 5-inch by 1.5 inches, and then score on the on the 5-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Now what I did is I did the smaller one first, and it goes on the bottom. So what I mean by that is I take this first one and I add my glue, and I figure out where I want it, and I kind of try to center it, and I'm going to add it here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my second one, I'm going to miter the corners. We're going to do it just like we did the stacked pocket. I'm going to fold it on each side, and then I'm going to add my glue, and I'm going to stick it inside that other belly band and glue it down. Of course, it's not wanting to do correctly for me for some reason. There we go. And stick it down. So there's my 2 belly bands. Now when I did the other side, actually we'll show this. So when you're doing your other side, you fold, you line up your pages, and then I just eyeballed it and put it exactly where I put this one. So I just lined them up on each side. Make sense? Okay, so that's it for those 2 pages. And let's see, the back of page 3, we're going to do, let's see, 2 double pockets. So you're going to cut 2 at 5 1/4. Wait, no, these are the same. I'm going to get it in a minute. 5 1/4 by, I still didn't have it right. Oh my goodness. 5 inches, not 5 1/4, by 3 3/4. Score on the 5-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then on the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Miter your corners. And these are going to be double pockets. So I'm going to flip mine this way because the opening is going to go here. So here's your flap on the other page. Flip it over, and I'm going to work with it this way. So I'm going to fold, add my glue, and I'm going to stick it down all the way over to one side. Doesn't matter which side you start with. And then I'm going to take my other pocket and I'm going to add it right next to it. Whoops, getting glue on me. It should line up perfectly right next to it. And it does. So now your page flips this way, and you have 2 pockets here. Now I also added a little photo mat flap, so then you're going to cut this one at 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. and then fold on your score line. Add your glue to the inside of the flap, and then you're going to stick this inside the pocket. This time I made sure to actually get it inside, and you're going to just center it on the page and stick it down. So you have a little photo mat flap, and then what I did is I put a little pocket right here, and I cut that to 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. Score on the 3 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then fold. And then I'm just going to add this to this side of the flap. And that page is done. Now we're going to move on to the front of page 4. And let's see, page 4 has a larger flap that we'll do first. So you're going to cut a flap at 4 7/8 by 8 inches. Score on the 4 7/8 of an inch side at 1/2 inch, and then again at 5/8 of an inch. So you're going to have a little gusset on this page. So I always fold on the 5/8 of an inch first, and then I fold on the 1/2 inch second because it seems easier to me. So here's my little gusseted flap. And then I'm going to turn it over and miter my corners. Now you just miter on the 1/2 inch flap, not the 1/8 of an inch gusset. And then I'm going to add my glue. And I'm going to stick it on the inside of the pocket. There we go. Now since I already have it open, I'm going to go ahead and add my pocket here. That one is cut to 2 3/4 by 9. Score on the 2 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 9 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Miter. Add your glue, and then again, this time you can go right up against that 1/8 of an inch, where that 1/8 of an inch score line is. Does that make sense? So you should have an opening on this side. So you should be able to see my little bitty 1/8 of an inch gusset there. I can't tell on camera if you can see it or not. Okay, and then I just added a flap at the top on the inside, and I cut it to 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, and I scored on the 6 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to fold, add my glue on the top of the flap, and I'm going to glue it down. Just make sure that you get it. You don't want it to go over your score line on this side. Otherwise, when you close your page, it won't close correctly. And there we go. Now I do have another element on the front. So I made a little flap, and I didn't score it. So I'm going to get my scoreboard that my book is sitting on. And I'm just going to score this quickly. Which I wonder if that means that if I didn't score it, I bet I also didn't do my measurements correctly. Because that's what I was going off of. So 4 1/4, it should have been 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so I'm going to have to correct that. So the first one is, flap is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. Score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And then add your glue. I did it on this side, and tucked it in here. And I kind of did it in the middle. And, oh, right, there we go. Now, I thought that the measurements that I had written down were incorrect on this, but they weren't. They were right, because I had forgotten to score this piece. So you're actually going to cut this to 5 1/4 by 4. So let me just trim mine, because since I cut it incorrectly. So 5 1/4. And I just need to rescore. So I need to fix that in my own notes. Good thing I haven't typed them up yet. So I can still see my erase marks from before where I erased them, and they were actually right. Okay. So now, again, we have the pocket at 5 1/4 by 4. Score on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then on the 4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Miter your corners, and then fold on everything. Add your glue. And stick it down right on top of that flap. So it should be even with the flap. If you want to, if you want someone to be able to tell that this is a pocket besides having something sticking up out of it, you could do the little envelope notch thing there, and that would look cute. I didn't think about that early enough. Okay, so we're done with that page. Seems like I can't do a video without having messed up one measurement at least. Okay, so the back of this page, back of page 4, you're going to cut a piece to 5 1/4 by 9. You're going to score on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch, and then this is the L-shaped pocket. So what I did is I took my Tim Holtz ruler, and then I lined up, you could actually fold this if you wanted to, fold on that 1/2 inch line, and then I lined up my ruler with the edge, and then I drew a line here. And then you could fold the bottom one as well. And then I did the same thing. Lined it up at the bottom, drew a line, okay? And this is what I get. So I'm going to cut that out, and I just use my scissors. And I'm being kind of sloppy. And then you're going to miter your corners just like you do when doing any pocket. Okay, and then fold on everything, which we've already folded on those. And here's your L-shaped pocket, and there's the back. So now I'm going to take my page and I'm going to add glue to everything. Whoops. And I'm going to stick it down. So the trick is just getting all of your flaps to lay flat. And I lined mine up with the right hand side this time, because I thought if it was on the opposite side near the binding, you would have a hard time getting things in and out of it. But this way it works out perfectly. So when you mat this, I cut my piece to, what did I do? It's going to have to be 1 1/4 on both sides. So I did, yeah, 1 1/4 on both sides. And then on the inside, I didn't mat the whole thing. I just matted inside this area here. And so I could, if you try to mat the whole thing, it's too hard because you have this closed and this closed at the bottom. So I only did like 3 1/4 by like 6 3/4, and that was it. So if you were to look in the inside of my L pocket, it doesn't go, the matting doesn't go all the way to the end, and that's okay. Or you could, no, you can't do that. Never mind. So there is whatever page that is. 4. Now let's do page 5. And page 5 is super simple. The front and the back of it is really easy. All I did was I took one cut apart, and then at 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then I took, I made a little booklet at 4 1/4 by 6 1/2 and scored on the 6 1/2 inch side at 3 1/4. Now what I did is I took my cut apart and I laid it like this, and I glued it just on these 2 sides. If you want to flip it this way so you have more room for it to open right here, because otherwise your binding is going to be on this side. So if you want to flip it this way, you can, and glue it on these 2 sides. And then you take your booklet, and I glued my booklet all the way down. So I would just not add glue in this little corner here. You could even make the booklet a pocket as well. Actually, I would do it kind of catty corner like that. So you could either glue it all the way down on the back, or you could make the booklet a pocket as well and glue it down on 3 sides or just 2 or whatever you wanted. And then I used a magnet right here. And that's it for that page. Super easy. And then on the back of this one, it was also really easy. I did a pocket, and then I did, so the pocket is 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. You're going to score on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Miter your corners. And then I'm going to add this here. Whoops, don't drop it. And then what I did, I think if I had it to do over with, if I was going to use the binding that I did, I would just not add the top flap. But if you want to add the top flap, you can. It's 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. Score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. Fold on that. And then put your glue on the inside of the flap and stick it inside the pocket. So you have a little booklet right here for 2 4x4 photos, and I used a magnet. Okay, so that's all I've got. The only other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the corner pocket. A lot of you have done them with me before. If you've never done one before, I'm just going to go over it quickly. You're going to cut one piece at 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. You're going to score on all 4 sides at 1/2 inch. Put it into your trimmer, and you're going to line up the edges with your cut line, and you're going to cut it in half diagonally so you have 2 pieces that look like this. Then you're going to miter your corners. I'm only going to show you one, and you're going to fold on both lines, and then trim off the wings, that I call them, on the end, and then you have a corner pocket. So then you're going to take your album and you're going to glue it down right there. Super easy. And then when you go to mat this, you're going to mat it at, it's a little bit different kind of measurement, so you're going to mat it at 4. You're going to cut a piece of pattern paper at 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. You're going to cut it in half diagonally, and you can mat the front and back pockets with the same piece of paper, which is what I did if you like. Which is why I chose just like a generic piece. This is like the wood grain paper, and then I could decorate it however I wanted to match up here. So that's my little skinny, chunky, skinny mini, I guess. And I hope you like it. Visit us on Facebook. There's 2 pages. You can visit my page, which is LM's Crafty, which is LMS Crafty Creations. Or you could also check out the Country Craft Creations Facebook page, and that is called Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. So there's lots of project shares, tons of tutorials, and that's all I got for you today. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.